is your land.
Come seek an adventure at the old pirates, eh?
Make the jump to light speed.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Welcome to the Disneyland Beat Weekend Wrap-Up. I'm Amy.
And I'm TC. We have 2 weeks of Disneyland headlines to get into, so let's head into the park.
Crowds have been pretty heavy in the past 2 weeks, but the overcast skies and lower temperatures seem to have kept off the mass numbers.
And wait times haven't been too bad, especially at Disneyland. DCA can be another story if a ride or two goes down.
Disneyland Forward expansion plans seem to be progressing. Bob Iger met with the Governor of California, Gavin Newsom, to discuss the potential plans.
The meeting seems to have been a positive one, as Newsom highlighted the impact that Disneyland has had in Anaheim in a recent statement. We think the new investments will mean a lot to Orange County, and it has been projected that expansion could generate up to $250 million for the city.
Not that things haven't been shaken up in the leadership of the company. Chief Financial Officer Christine McCarthy has announced that she will be stepping down, and it does seem that there was some drama with CFO McCarthy and other Disney leaders.
In her statement, she points to taking family medical leave. But apparently, it has come as a surprise to the company, and many are suggesting it has more to do with differences of opinion on how the company should be run.
Disney had its first ever official after-hours Pride Nights, and though we were unable to attend, it seems to have been a great success and is reviewing well.
By all reports, there was a wonderful electric energy in the park that lasted the entire night, beyond the 1 a.m. curfew. It started with a special welcome fireworks celebration.
Couples were seen all around, as well as lots of kids supporting and celebrating their parents and friends. This Is Me from The Greatest Showman was part of the show.
There were balloons everywhere, including large arches and sculptures. Lots of characters were out, but Clarabelle Cow stole the show, going viral with her infectious enthusiasm. All in all, the event was a huge success.
A couple of months ago, Disney announced they would be offering at least 2 months' worth of the lowest cost tier tickets during the Disney 100 celebration. We've gotten our first inkling of what dates have been added to the calendar.
The first date will be August 24th, and there are additional dates, August 28th through the 31st, that Disney will have single-day tickets priced at $104, about 40% less than the highest priced tickets.
There's also a summer deal for Southern California residents. You can get a 3-day ticket for $249 through September 28th. That's only $83 a day, and you don't have to use all 3 of your days consecutively. Another nice perk.
The LA Times ran an annual poll surveying residents and readers on what their favorite Disneyland attraction was, and the classic Pirates of the Caribbean won hands down.
Perhaps that is what sets Disneyland guests apart. Even with new cutting-edge rides like Rise of the Resistance, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and Guardians of the Galaxy around, they still go for the historical classics. And we couldn't agree more.
Disneyland's fireworks were not as bright this past week for one particular show, when the fireworks got cut at the last minute due to weather, and then a projector failed, and guests were left with the soundtrack only and some basic lighting for their wondrous journeys.
Pixar's Elemental has opened at the theaters, and you can sure tell at the parks. There's a lot of new Elemental merchandise in the shops.
Sippers and other souvenirs are available at the dining spots, and the Elemental pre-show is still playing a World of Color.
Disney may have found the popcorn bucket to get my attention. This June 20th, a new Mr. Toad's Wild Ride bucket hits the bricks with a motor car and Jay Thaddeus himself in the driver's seat.
Disney has debuted a pretty amazing new free-roaming Groot animatronic.
It debuted with an updated Guardians of the Galaxy awesome dance-off that usually takes place in front of the ride.
But like many of the free-roaming animatronics we have seen in the past, Disney's plan for Groot is unclear. On most performances, Mantis is still the guest star at the awesome dance-off.
And we like them both. Mantis adds a lot of fun and energy, but the dancing Groot is cute, fun, new, and only a little bit creepy.
Rehearsals are underway at the Hyperion Theater for Rogers the Musical, opening later this month.
The marquee was recently changed to add a Captain America quote, "I'm with you to the end of the line."
The show opens July 30th, and it's expected to be about 30 minutes, and it wouldn't surprise us if Disney uses a virtual queue to get into the show at first.
And also, Disney has not set a closing date, but did say it will be a temporary run. We sure hope it runs long enough for everyone to get down and see what is likely to be a very popular offering.
Looking at current park construction, new lampposts have been installed outside the Adventureland treehouse. They look pretty cool, but they're still under wraps.
Still, it helps build the excitement as we await the opening of the treehouse later this year.
More murals have been added to the developing San Francisco section of DCA, which is still surrounded by scaffolding.
The new mural highlights San Francisco sports teams, the Samurai and the Emperors.
Construction seems to have started on the interior of Tianas Bayou Adventure, as the retired Chickapin Hill has had scaffolding installed all over, as well as stairs going down the large 4-story drop.
It's gonna be a while on this one. We think in order to get it done on schedule before 2024 is over, it's gonna take some effort and everything will have to go right. 18 months doesn't seem like much for a ride of this scale.
What's interesting too is the ride is surrounded by walls showing off Tiana's Foods and the Southern Dome Salt Company. And this is interesting storytelling that we were not surprised to see. It's part of the backstory that they're creating.
But if you're unfamiliar with that, or even what Splash Mountain is becoming, or even that it was closed, as some guests are, it's all very confusing. Some guests have been overheard talking about how a large ride is being turned into a restaurant.
What might be a constant construction headache is the play areas at Mickey's Toontown. This past week, 2 of the spring riders were removed.
Earlier, the Walt's Dreaming Tree area had to be closed for repainting, and sections of AstroTurf grass have already had to be replaced, closing them off for some time.
The land has only been open since March, so we worry a little bit about the long-term viability of these issues. If history is a lesson here, Disney does eventually stop spending the money to keep things like this up, and they just cut them and simplify them.
And you end up with parts of attractions that are shadows of what they once were.
Construction walls are still up at the former French Market restaurant as it becomes Tiana's Palace, and Avengers Campus has walls up around the headquarters building as a new gift shop is constructed.
And the Red Rose Tavern's refurbishment continues, so the restaurant is open for service.
As far as ride closures go, this next week, some of the Fantasyland dark rides are back in play. Both Alice in Wonderland and Mr. Toad's Wild Ride have reopened as refurbishment continues to the building. Printed scrims and scaffoldings do cover the entire place.
Peter Pan is still closed and will remain closed until June 29th.
DCA does not have any ride closures this next week, though the bread cart is still closed outside the Boudin Bakery.
Looking at the calendar this week, there are no after-hour events to navigate. Both parks open at 8 a.m. with early entry at 7:30 a.m.
This next week, Disneyland closes at midnight and DCA at 10 p.m. As it likely will all summer, the Wondrous Journeys fireworks run all week.
There will be some cloudy mornings this week, but it looks like the sun will come out during the middle of the week.
Temps sound perfect to me, ranging from the low to the mid-70s.
Coming up in July 5th, in fact, Alice in Wonderland closes again for further refurbishment through July 20th.
And at Disney California Adventure, Soaring Around the World closes July 5th through the 14th for maintenance, and Toy Story Midway Mania takes a vacation starting July 17th.
Well, that's it for us this week. Thanks so much for joining us.
May the light in the firehouse window always shine brightly.
And may your dreams always come true.
See you real soon, Mouseketeers.